Market song. I'll read it to you. The night's rung out. No bells are calling over rooftops, over gardens, no birds sing. Down the high a sound approaches, like a crystal glass set singing by a finger around the rim. The yearning mule of bike wheels begging oil and calling back in time and through the lights of midnight, the red and green and the amber lights. A girl is weaving half-cut down this tongue of silent road on a bike she bought on shop credit that still hasn't been stolen, thinking of the night that rings like memory in her ears, the club, the dancing, then stumbling out to make her wild way home. She feels just like a flame, and in this gin dream cycling east, it isn't frightening knowing soon she'll be snuffed out and not exist, and no more thoughts or feelings, no trace of all this love she feels, the briefness of things. Sometimes in the mornings, knowing you're running out of life can feel okay. Above her, drinking the night air on the glass balcony over the market, two mouths meet as hands do, and a different love is budding in the club among the rooftops. He opens his eyes. They're silent for a moment. She asks him if he wants to take her home, and then they're leaving. The world feels like it's watching. They stop at the chip van, bleary-eyed, their night still young, and underneath their feet something is stirring. In the belly of the city, in the dream space, the subconscious darkness where the magic happens, where we hide the things we fear and what we don't want people seeing, where the mess of keeping going gets to stretch and shake itself, where guts and blood are tidied up and out of sight is out of mind, the city practices forgetting what it takes to look this good. Secrets hide on endless bookshelves, every thought that's had in England snaffled up and stored away in tunnels just a wall apart from fatbergs blocking effluence, as if we'll need it all someday, perhaps to stand as testament to what we did while we were here and Rome was howling desperately. Or maybe it's just more waste product gathered to be sieved for old gold teeth. In the belly of the market, since the day the market opened, men in aprons have descended, sharpening knives and closing hearts, with orders in their ears for eels and mackerel, and hacked the hides from lambs, and taken wings off headless chickens, gutted and cleaned the mess of dying into something we can stomach, taken the stripped flesh to market to be bought and sold for dinner. Chops and breasts and sausages that feed this city, keep it churning, life kept up like spinning plates. The world a dance that starts with buying ribs that bring a family around a table, then whirls away, proliferates into the endless song of people going on, proliferating, feeding hens that lay their eggs, so in the end another hen can be brought down into the belly of the market, plucked and stripped and sold again. All life comes home to the abattoir, the field, the seed, all that we do is just manure to plough back in and feed the belly of the city. Under the market, in the tunnels, charnel slops are gathered up that make the whole thing possible. All this was spread across the streets but clagged the wheels of carts and coaches, cluttering the gutters with black pudding and clots of feeding flies that sank over the offcuts like asleep. So the butchers left the shambles on the orders of the town. The gates that marked the city's edge were scrapped to make for wider roadways, up from Magdalen Bridge to Carfax. And John Gwynn, brought up in Shrewsbury, caught a coach from by the Berkeley, round Hyde Park and Speaker's Corner, travelling west through Shepherd's Bush, then on through Uxbridge and High Wycombe, till the coach stopped by the Mitre, carrying plans for a covered market, boxing all the city's traders into somewhere more discreet. 3 years' work put up the market, which at first was populated by a grocer, a fishmonger, 2 mercers selling silk and cotton, 20 butchers selling meat. People being what they are, the lead was nicked from the roofs within the year. Then the market started growing. Places live like the people in them, breathe and grow and start to crumble, take the shape the locals ask for, forget parts of themselves, discover hidden depths no one imagined. Through this narrow labyrinth of everything we need to nurture life, there passed a million briefly flickering souls to pick up chops, exam carnations, wedding cakes and funeral wreaths, gifts to say that out of all the possible lives you might have lived, you've chosen someone that you love and said goodbye to countless other ways of passing this short time that you've been given, brave, alive and vulnerable. The feet of kings and lags left marks that look the same, and town and gown both like the same displays in windows, each needle threading through the eye of this place where the chill gets in, the ceilings and the cafes skim your head, and scent of blood and shoe polish, lilies and coffee takes you back to the first time you saw this place, walking past Pizza Express with pictures under your arm that wanted framing, or looking for someone that wasn't a chain to get your lunch and dodge the weather, to the lost time when this was strange, when you were younger and had longer left till your light burned down. You could mark out time with visits to this place, the years long gone since you sat at a corner table listening to someone tell you for the first time that time is always layered with the thought of every other time you heard somebody say that time is always layered with the thought of other times. Through this place there passed the world. If we could make a map of every visit, the routes not taken and the roads we took, thread all the tales together of the market and know each day the place has lived, we'd see the history of the city latticed centuries deep and singing out with life. But stories are mostly lost. What lasts is not the hope or fear of people passing, but the space that bore the memory, the mute, indifferent stones. All we can do is cast our hearts into these absences and know that drovers walked these steps 200 years ago and long for things as we do. They walk with us while we're lost in these lanes. A girl is cycling home to Cowley, thinking when the morning comes she'll meet a friend in the covered market, tell the story of this night over the lip of a cup of coffee, add a note to the secret song which never has been heard in all its roar. She gets to Denmark Street, locks up the bike and finds her keys, opens up the door and tiptoes in. In the dawn, the market wakes. The first stall holder opens up a gate and walks inside and turns a light on.